Welcome back, everyone. This is a timely discussion. With the tragic loss of Stephen Twitch Boss by suicide, it is putting a spotlight on men's mental health.
Mental fitness coach and counselor Todd Sylvester joins us now. And Todd, we were so glad to see that you were on the schedule coming on the show in light of the news this week and talking about mental health. You have a podcast that leads in mental health. So where do we start with this conversation?
Yeah, it's tough to hear the news about Twitch. I think it shocked all of us because, you know, from viewing him from a distance, it looked like everything was going good in his life. And there's a quote by Henry David Thoreau that says, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation." And his point was, we have a propensity to not talk about our sufferings and our struggles. We put on a mask and a face that everything's okay. Obviously, he was dealing with some heavy emotional pain that led to that unfortunate thing. But I think most of us are suffering in silence in some way, but we don't want to talk about it. We're afraid to even bring it up because we don't want to burden someone, or we just don't want to, go there and be vulnerable about it.
I think that goes across the board, but men specifically, you look at Twitch and his pictures, his smiles, their kids, their family photos, you almost think that he has everything going for him. But inside there are demons that are so hard to talk about. Why is that?
I think vulnerability is scary, right? Vulnerability is, you're putting your heart out there for the world to see. This is my struggle. And I think with social media, we're all trying to put on our best face, our best foot forward. And I get that to some level, but I think sometimes we got to be more authentic and real. And I just think that naturally we just don't want to look like we're weak. It's like if I'm telling you my struggles, if I cry in front of you, it's like almost I'm this weak person. Instead, I want to show you, no, I'm confident and strong. And I think we're never stronger than when we do get vulnerable, right? And, I've learned in what I do with my clients is the amount of vulnerability you're willing to express will be equal to the amount of happiness you experience in your life. So if vulnerability goes up, happiness is going to go up. If our vulnerability goes down, typically happiness is down too. And so, but it's so important that we do reach out and be willing to share some of these things.
Absolutely.
Sometimes many of us, and especially men, vulnerability is the fear. How do you kind of help people go into that vulnerability and face those fears? Yeah,
that's a tough one. It's almost like, with my clients, it's like pulling teeth, right? Like to get them to say anything. It's interesting though that once we get to that point where we finally talk about the hurt, because a lot of times hurt represents itself in anger. So I never really focus on the anger. I'm talking about, because if someone's angry, it's usually because they're hurt. Let's talk about what's hurting you. And that question usually starts to open up a conversation. And it usually takes a minute, a few sessions, even if I'm working with my clients. But once they get there, it's interesting as they start feeling better. They start feeling like, someone cares about me, and I can relate with other people as well.
You posed this question: how do you love who you are if you don't know who you are?
Yeah, that's a big one. When we were all little kids, we loved ourselves, we loved everybody, we had faith as big as the universe. But as we get older, we go through tough times. We get bullied in school, parents may divorce, we go through some tough times. And what happens is we start to forget who we are. One of the best definitions of depression I've ever heard in my 30 years in doing this is pretending to be someone I'm not. So we start going off of who we really are. And so knowing who we are is critical. And for those listening and watching this, how do you do that, right? And I always go, what are the characteristics of a child? Loving, kind, understanding, forgiving, brave, tenacious, love, light, energy. That is us. That's how we should describe ourselves. And so a lot of times we don't lose those things, we just forget that. And so reminding people this is who we really are and focusing on those things, it is so powerful when it comes to our mental health.
Well, and you do so much work in the mental health community. Where do you start with your clients and people that you're working with?
Yeah, I typically go right there. Like I'll ask them the question, who are you? And 10 out of 10 can't answer it. And so we work on exactly that, because that's the foundation I want to work on. Because again, when we were little, we knew who we were. I really say this, we had it figured out when we were kids. We really did. And somewhere along the way, we kind of because of experiences and things like that, we kind of lose that insight. And so it's about bringing them back to the simple things. Simplicity is power. And so I really start with that question.
What I love about your Belief Cast, your podcasts, and your talks is that you truly inspire people, and you're inspiring people right now. Those at home, you say, we need you,
Yes.
right? We need you.
Yeah, we need you. We're all part of an equation. Like, I can reach certain people, you can reach certain people, you can reach certain people that I can't reach, and so we're all in this together.
Why are you getting emotional?
Because I've lost friends to suicide, I've lost family members and things like that to certain things, and it's really tough to go through that. And I just think everybody matters. Our value as human beings are at 100. I always say this: there's no special people in the world, or we're all special, because we're all the same, 100%. And so I just think, we're all part of this equation. We need each other to make it through this.
You have an exercise for us as you leave us.
Yes, a challenge for everyone watching this right now. And here's the challenge, is that your circle of influence, your family members and your closest friends, reach out to them today, not with a text, but with a phone call. I got to do the same thing. And ask them, how are you doing? Like, really, how are you really doing? And really get to that point and see where they're at. They may say everything's fine, and then you just let them know, hey, I'm here for you if you need to talk to anyone. If you're struggling, I'm here for you. And so I think that little connection and reach out may open up a door where you can actually help someone who's suffering that you didn't realize that they were.
Todd Sylvester Inspires at TS Inspires on Instagram. YourOK.com, a new program that you are starting, a new app.
Yeah, a new mental fitness app. Should be out here in a couple months, and it's going to be amazing.
Thank you, Todd, so much.
Thanks
Happy
for
holidays.
having me, guys. Love you guys. Thank you.